Hello and welcome back to TylerTeacherCraft, the Survival World Tour, Part 2. So, we are at my modern house, right here behind me. So let's continue the tour. So here we are. So I wanted to make something nice and new looking, nice modern build. Got a pool and everything, some lounge chairs out here. So, inside, still pretty empty. You'll notice I don't do a whole lot of interior work yet, but I will. I do have the beds, balconies overlooking the area. But what's really nice about this spot, and the reason why I chose to build around this spot in the first place, you can see right there, there's a desert village right there. And also there's a plains village right there. So let's take a look at the house from the front. I saw a design like this online, so I thought I'd build it, but I couldn't see the side of it, so I had to design that all by myself. So that's what I did with it. I think it looks pretty good. That's my modern house design. So I've got the two villages, but also there's a savanna village right there. So this is my 3-village modern house location. So I got the savanna village here, I got the plains village right there, my modern house overlooking those, and then the desert village right over here. Alright, so there's my modern house from above. We've got one more thing to do while we're here. Haha! Nicely done. Little baby horse. And I got my achievement. I'm going to check back on that a little later. I've got one more to do during my world tour. But let's continue on to the next spot. So here we are in the ocean monument that I have conquered, and I've made a very inefficient farm. I thought I'd have just a small one while I was trying to save up the resources to do a real efficient one. So it works. I get some stuff in here from time to time as they float down into this. But this is all cleared out. I got my portal in there, and I'm going to build something in here. But for now, it's just the Guardian Farm and an empty ocean monument. We're still underwater, you can see. There's still plenty of Guardians around here, because I haven't cleared out the water around the Guardian Farm. That's why it's not very efficient. But that's something for a later date. That's a big project. But I took off the roof, and they still float down every now and again and die in the lava. So I still get drops from time to time. I thought it would be a nice way to get some drops while I was building in here, although I haven't built in here yet. Here comes one. This is my Guardian Farm, my inefficient Guardian Farm. Alright, here we are at my newest build. This is my farmhouse. I decided that I wanted something through the woods that you could get to. I have this little plains area here. There's a little plains area, and I thought a nice farmhouse would be pretty cool in here. So this is what I built. And you can get there through the little path through the forest here. So you come through the forest, and you come out to the plains, which is now covered in wheat with my little farmhouse. So, the other reason why I wanted to build this farmhouse, besides being interested in trying something different, because I've been working on lots of big projects, was because of what's around back. My main mine shaft is completely dug out now, so I decided that this would be where I would start my next mine shaft. So this one's not as pretty as the last one we saw, but it's my newest one, so it's not quite finished yet. But that's going to be my new mine shaft. I'll do some more digging at my farmhouse. The one thing that's missing here is I'm still got to put a chimney with a fireplace. But otherwise, this is pretty much complete on the outside. But you can take a wild guess what's on the inside. Nothing. That's right. Like I said, I don't do interiors too much, so this is still pretty empty. I got a basement down here. Right? Full basement. And each floor is the same, empty, and all the way up. So I got my bed up here. That's about it. So this is my farmhouse, which I'm going to do the interior of eventually, just like everything else. Alright, so now it's time to go through the forest. Just in time for night. You can see this place is all lit up nicely. All these jack-o'-lanterns in there. Alright, let's go through the forest, and we'll come out the other side. We are going back to the beginning of my game and all my large projects now. So, this is where it gets interesting. Everything you've seen so far is very small stuff. So all my big stuff and my big projects is coming up. But before we get to all that, we're going to stop at my very first base. Hi, cow. I'm going to go now to my very first base, which is, for my world, a historic one. Very first base that I had. So let's jump straight to that. Alright, so this is my very first base. Is my desert temple. This was pretty close to spawn. Spawn is right behind me. I don't want to turn around to give away some other stuff, but this is the very first base that I ever made. Alright, you can see that there's a hole out front, and that's for this. I have my lava defense for any monsters trying to get in, or other players. There we go. So I got some backup furnaces. I got a little tiny nether wart farm here. These are all my ender pearls before I leave, if I need them. A couple of my dogs. There's Sequence. This one's not named. Some of my heads that I've gotten. This was my unlimited water supply, and then when we had concrete added to the game, I threw in some obsidian down there so I could use this as a concrete maker as well. My very first potion station, and all my storage here from the very first base. And we got the furnaces here. More storage over here. Parrot, there's Polly. This is my very first storage. And my first nether portal. And I got some books here. All my good stuff here. And this. And I got one little farm out back. Sugarcane farm. I needed some paper. So I made a sugarcane farm out back. So let's take a look. Oh, there's my banners, of course. TT, Tyler Teacher. And then up here is where I had made my little bedroom. I got the railings out here. And we'll take a look. I got my perimeter out here, which used to be on fire. So there's my sugarcane farm. Right? And that's what I was accessing from below. The tunnel goes right underneath that. And there's the sugarcane farm out into the desert. He doesn't want to do it. Smart. That's why I put these here. It hurts them. So they don't attack me. There it is. My very first original base. Alright, so let's head over to an overview of the big projects, and then we'll stop at them. So this was the very first village, which I've of course expanded quite a bit. This is an ongoing project. I'm going to eventually fill up this entire area with this desert village. And this is one of my main achievements, the ziggurat, which we're going to take a look at in a little bit. But the other overview piece is my main base over here, which is the last thing we're going to talk about. That is going to be the largest thing I'll ever build, I think. And then I've got the resort. My tower resort. Got the tennis courts out back. I'm still working on this, of course. We got an infinity pool, which will look much better when 1.13 starts. This is going to be a turtle area when 1.13 starts. And I got the vertical farm over here. And we'll take a look at that in a little bit. But first, let's go to the village. So, spawn, when I first spawned in this game, was actually right over there, where this tower is now. And right across the way, there is a desert village. So my very first night in this world, I ran over here after I got some wood, and I took shelter in one of the original buildings, which is where I still have my main base. Hey, dude. He's always hanging out here. So this was the very first house that I lived in. I've redecorated a little bit, but I got the portal down there. But this is the very first house I lived in for the very first night of my game, and then I went over to the desert temple over there and set up my original base. So this is all very historic and fun for me. You can hear the chickens over there. So this was the first one that I rebuilt. This building, that one there. No, not that one. These two. And this one, and a couple of these. 2 of these, I think, were all original. Everything else I have added myself. The farms that you see right here were originally here. And this one was, and that one, but I've added 2 more farms on this side over there. So what is this noise? Well, my very first food source. Build an automatic chicken farm. So that gets me all the chicken and feathers I could possibly want. And then my very first mine shaft. So this is the very first mine shaft that I ever made. So there it is. So like I said, I'm trying to design all my tunnels to look good. Whether you think it looks good or not, I don't know, but I think it looks pretty nice. I wanted something for this granite to be used for. I have a lot of granite, but I don't know what else to use it for, so I just thought I would use it for a design block. So this is my very first original mine shaft, and this is the one, like I said, it's totally pretty much dug out. I've gone on all different directions this way, but I've also gone that way so that I'm getting behind this wall too. And that way, you see, well, that one I didn't. Okay, I still got some digging to do. But most of these I've dug out that way, and then on this side I dug that way, and then on these 2 back here I've dug that direction as well. So you can see that I've dug that direction a bunch. The reason I didn't dig too much that direction is because in that direction I run into my main base, my current base, which is all the way down here, so I can't dig too far down there. So I got the same sort of setup down here so that I can work. After I find some stuff, I can bring it back here and without running back up the stairs, do some things. Alright, so let's take a look around the village a little bit more. Alright, so I wanted the village to be like the old desert sort of villages that I see in movies and stuff. You know, all really close together. So I've put them all pretty close together, and I'm going to continue on that. You can see there's little alleyways through here between the buildings. It's all very tight. And my one villager, hello, I've got one villager in the village left. The rest have died, but I can put more villagers back, no problem, because you'll see over there I've got a lot of them. So I've converted every one of these buildings into a new design. I want them all to look kind of cool and add some wood for some color. Got my big fireplace there and furnace, and that goes up to the second floor. I'm not going to look at every single one of these buildings, but you can see them here. And then I've got my tower sort of in the center. This is perfectly in line with the ziggurat, so they're lined up. I got some more farms over here, some more buildings. These farms I added. And then I got the fountain over here with a couple of more buildings here. As I get the materials, I keep adding to this, but I want this village to be all the way out to the water, all the way around. So it's just jammed with little buildings all in here. This is going to be sort of the old district. And then when you get closer to the ziggurat, they're going to be the bigger houses, a big library, and things like that, where the temple is. So in this is my husk tower. You'll see why when we go in here. So these are all the husk heads that I've got from killing the husks. This is husk tower. I'm going to put these all the way up there as I see fit. So that's all my husk heads over there. So I'm trying to design each of these houses in different ways. So like this one here is a little unique because it's big. It's got a central staircase and it opens back up like some of the other ones. And then we got this one over here, which is actually a hallway with houses on each side, little houses on each side. And then one of them can go up to the second floor, where I have a couple more on a balcony. And a nice view over here of the fountain and everything. So, that's the village. A bunch of little houses this is going to be added to. I'm going to be putting a market in here soon. A major market area, which would be next to the tower on the other side. So I have little stuff on each side of the tower. This tower is sort of the central peak. And I've got a fountain on this side. I've got farms on this side, that direction, and I got farms on this side, sort of a central square. And then I'm going to put the market over here. So this is the big market that's going to go in there with food stalls and all that fun stuff. And then I got my TT, of course, and I got my buddies over here working the shop, Mr. Piggy Bottom and then Chuckles. These two are working one of the shops. I'm going to have to get someone else over in this shop so we can have something in there, and then I'm going to put people in the market, all over in the market. Alright, so that's the village. Here's how it looks at night. I'll take a look at it from the sky one more time. See if we can land up here. Alright, good enough. Wow, skeleton already. They spawn quick on the roofs. So there it is, overview. Once I'm done, I'm going to have to light this place up, so we're not getting a bunch of mobs. But this is going to be filled with buildings all the way out till there, maybe a lighthouse out there, and a port, some boats, things like that, all the way over there. And then right behind this big building there, I'm going to have a nice big wall separating sort of the old town from the big buildings out there. Alright, so let's take a look at the temple next. Alright, so this is the ziggurat. And there's the stairs up from either side that all connect in the center. The husks love it up here. We've got a couple levels. We got the light from the flames and my beacon there. I'm thinking of adding some trees and gardens sort of stuff here, but I'm not sure yet. But for now I like the grass. And then we get into the main hall here. This is the main hall, the dragon temple. So I've got the dragon eggs on either side, a bunch of dragon heads, the ones that I found, and this is the council. I've got a couple of my horses, Conquest, and this is Pestilence over here. And I got the map of the area. You can see there's the village from above. This is the ziggurat right here. You can see how large that is. This is my main base now. My original base out there, and spawn was right here. And now I've taken this whole island and made it a resort, which I'm still working on, of course. And then you can see out here, there's the farmhouse out there in the corner. So this is the majority of the builds that I've been working on this world. So, why is this ziggurat built? Why is it the dragon? What is the dragon heads all about? Well, you'll notice the floor is glass, and that's because it houses the bones of the final overworld dragon down there. So, this land was once ruled by dragons, big dragons. You can see the bones down there. And now, that was the last of them. This is the last of the overworld dragons. And the people that live in this village conquered the final dragon, and his resting spot right here is where they built the pyramid, the ziggurat, around it to honor the final dragon. Now the dragons are only in the end dimension, but there used to be large dragons here in the overworld, and this was the final of them. And there's the bones, the remains of the final dragon. So we've built this temple around the dragon for the council, the rulers of this land, and they've each got their dragon head to prove that they're the true rulers. We got another husk here. Trying to come into the temple, but you're not allowed because you're dead. Sorry, buddy. So this is the temple. Massive temple for the massive dragon bones here, the final resting spot of the final dragon alive in the overworld. And these are from, of course, the end. You can get all the nice dragon heads from the end cities. So there you go. My major temple, massive structure. This is the largest one I've built. Built because of the dragon bones. Alright, so this is going to be the end of part 2 of the world tour because, as I said in the first one, my computer is not awesome, so there's only so much I can record before I run out of space. So in the next episode, we are going to finish up the world tour with my resort and with my main current base. The resort right above my head, and the main base is that black square over there, which is my technical base, which is going to be my masterpiece when it's all completed. So anyways, I'll see you in the next episode. Also, if you have any requests for builds or ideas, you can leave that in the comment below. Let me know. Alright, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.